today I am layered. I have on a turtleneck, a flannel shirt. I wore a leather coat. It's cold, and so I'm going to whine a little bit. No, I'm not really not. I fuss about the heat. I fuss about the cold. You fuss, because that's what women do. We have that privilege to do that. Boy, privileges. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening this weekend, y'all, because today, sitting right over here, was supposed to be Mr. Ellijay, but we had a little glitch at the last minute, and he had something he had to do down the road, so, of course, we rescheduled. But guess what we've got in the can for y'all? We have the whole Mountain Life edited, mastered, pretty cool, and you're going to get to see the way that Tim Christensen sees that it should be displayed. We really like it. We really like the way it looks. I don't know how Mr. Ellijay feels about it, but he's not here to stop us, so we're going to do it. Yay. It's going to be exciting. I think you're going to love, love, love this. I think you're going to love this song. We are so blessed. These mountains are full of Christmas, full of lights, full of amazing giving people. And I have to say a huge thank you to everybody who brought us coats. We are still working on the process, but I delivered a whole load of coats yesterday. And they have been taken to the homeless vets in Cherokee County. So I was so excited to get to do that. At the same time, I went to Reeves Wholesale, which was like taking me back to 26 years of my life with my daughter. We owned a florist for 26 years. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at Reeves Wholesale. And walking in there yesterday, I could just see all the things that Angela's lights, she would light up and say, Mom, we've got to get this, we've got to get this, we've got to do this, we've got to. They had some amazing, amazing stuff. And part of the things that they had, I bought to use at our office because the parade passes right by our office in downtown Ball Ground. And I hope to see all your smiling faces Friday night. Get there early. I would say get there by 5:30. Because the roads are going to be shut down at 6. It's going to get crazy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be full. It's going to be packed, and we better get things going. Do you know it gets dark at 6 minutes to 6, which just totally is not in my game plan. I don't like that. I just don't like that. But it happens anyway, and I can't change it. So get to town early, come in and shop locally, come in and have pizza down at Dominic's, go in and have some barbecue nachos, chips at the Ball Ground Tavern next door to us. Stop in all the shops. Shop locally, feed your children, hang out in Ball Ground, and get ready for the 50th parade. The 50th parade. Now, y'all will notice that Santa isn't old enough that he was in all those parades, but he was in a bunch of them. And we are honoring he and Mrs. Claus this year. And today's program is a way to honor them, and you're going to get to see them in just a few minutes. I'm excited about this. I'm excited that we control a bunch of footage of y'all. I love it. I love that we have these archives and these libraries of all this stuff. So it's going to be really, really cool. Really cool. But I want to remind you, this Friday night, come to Ball Ground. Saturday around noonish, start gathering in McKaysville and Copper Hill, because then the parade there happens. So you have two parades. You can choose a nighttime one. It's going to be cold. It may have a little tiny bit of rain. Tim, do we have a weather forecast? What's the rain going to be? 51 degrees and possibility, oh, I don't like that forecast. I don't like that it shows a little drizzle, so bring your umbrella because the parade goes on no matter what. And if you get your hairdo wet, you get your hairdo wet. So, okay, everybody wants to know about doctor's visit yesterday. Doctor's visit yesterday, more cancer cells. I'm going to have a process that's going to take about 3 weeks. It's going to not be pretty. It's going to kind of mess up my face for a little bit, which is really weird because I'm a wake up and makeup kind of girl, but I'm going to deal with it. And if that doesn't take all the cancer cells away, then we're going to go back to some more surgery. And I've had 5 places on my face worked on, and y'all only saw one scar, and that scar completely went away, and I'm using the same surgeon. He's amazing. But sadly, the place that they'll hit the next time is going to be very obvious, and I don't like that. There's nothing I can do about it. But I have made arrangements with Andy Fowler. I sent him a message and I said, listen, don't retire before I'm 95, because when I die about 95 years old, I want him to come into Roper Funeral Home and do my makeup, and I want people to walk up and think that Elizabeth Taylor's laying there in the casket instead of me, because it is. Life is what it is, you know. And if you end up with scars, you end up with bruises, you end up with whatever. I don't know what we're going to be facing next. I hope the next 3 weeks takes care of the cells, and if it doesn't, then we go back to surgery and we try again. So that's all we can do. Thank God for good doctors. Thank God for Canton Hospital. Thank God for a team that let me make the decision yesterday not to cut yet, because he said, we'll do this test and we'll see if this works for 3 weeks, and if it doesn't, then we go back to surgery. And I said, okay, I'm okay with that. So I made the decision with my doctor's advice. So, and I was kind of leaning toward hoping he would do that. And so we're going to try it. We're going to try it. Not going to be pretty, but we're going to try it. So we will do that. Now we're going to share some things with y'all today. As the holidays came and went, I did a recipe that Golda V. Davis shared with me many years ago. And it's going to be in the Pickens Progress this week. I made the mistake of making it last week. It wasn't a mistake. It was so good, but I have this little problem. I've been eating it every day. I eat it on a bagel. I eat it on a roll. I eat it with cottage cheese. I eat it with turkey. I eat it with dressing. I eat this cranberry relish any way you can get it to go down. It is so yummy. Cranberries are good for you. Pineapple is good for you. Pecans are good for you. There's a little bit of sugar in it, and it is so yummy. It is like this high, I said if you had to choose one thing that you could always keep in your fridge, what would it be? This would be it. So be sure and check out the Pickens Progress this week, because the recipe will be in there, and I'm going to post a picture of it on Facebook as soon as I get off the air today. It's beautiful, it's red, it's glorious, it maintains in your refrigerator, but the coolest thing I did with it was I made a layer cake, a white layer cake, and I did one layer, and then I put the cranberry relish in the middle of it, and then I put the top layer on, and then I iced it with a homemade cream cheese icing, and then I put the cranberry relish on top of it, so it had that fruity, tangy taste with a cake, which kept it from being too sweet. You talk about good. Oh my gosh, was it good. So that's the thing. What do I always say? A recipe is only a beginning. Golda V's recipe was perfect, and I took it to levels. I put it on bagels. I do all kinds of crazy things with it because it is so good, and I think it might even be good for you, even though it does have a little bit of sugar in it. So it's got orange juice, it's got pineapple. It's just yummy. So y'all check out the Progress this week, and again, it comes out on Wednesday. You can pick it up in downtown Jasper, or on Thursday, you get it in the mail if you will subscribe to the Pickens Progress. Been in business over 100 years, kind of like ETC. We've been here so long, I could have got old right here in front of y'all. As a matter of fact, now that I look at my gray hair today, I may have gotten old right in front of y'all. It's time to go back to the beauty shop. But don't forget, parades this weekend. Friday night, Ball Ground. Saturday, McCaysville, Copper Hill. Please get out and support your communities. Please get out and let people know that you have a small business. Please get out and share with others. Please continue to bring us coats for the coat drive for the veterans. And I'm so thankful. I took a carload of coats down yesterday, and it was amazing. And thank you to Evelyn for helping get all these coats up. A lot of people brought some really cool coats. We had some high-end ones. We had some work coats. We had all kinds of jackets. It was really, really cool. Thank you. And I said, one of the things that we didn't think about, because some people did, they brought us gloves. And that was awesome to have gloves and to have turtlenecks and to have things that keep you warm when you layer. So I love that. But we're going to go now to something that Tim's in control of. Tim did this, and this is a headshot of Mr. Ellijay, and you're going to get to hear the great music of mountain life. So here we go.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, propped up, and what the heck? You'll love how we live here in these mountains. Everything is gonna be alright, and we all wave hello here in these mountains. Good, we sleep well at night. It's all right, the mountain life. Trip to Ellijay and see the bright red Georgia clay, from Notley down to Carter's Lake. All the memories to make, so much here for all to see, a land that is so dear to me. Welcome home to all your dreams, hot rod fords and mountain streams. Now you love how we live here in these mountains. Everything is gonna be alright. We all wave hello here in these mountains. Life is good, we sleep well at night, and it's all right, the mountain life. It's all right, the mountain life. Y'all come by and see us anytime you can.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
The mountains are calling, and they're closer than you think. Farmers Crossing in Ball Ground offers creekside lots with homes beginning in the 400s. Walking distance to downtown shopping, dining, tennis courts, Calvin Farmer Park, and local events. It also includes a beautiful hike to Long Swamp Creek. Leave the car and the worries behind. Move in by fall 2023. Call Cherie Martin at 404-375-0590 or Evelyn Calhoun at 770-733-0779.
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. I'm grown up, is there in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up and I know you're there. You're grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, propped up, and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
We are visiting with 2 very, very special people. And y'all, I'm so thankful that it is cold here because you had to leave the North Pole.
Did you bring this cold air with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm so thankful, Santa. Thank you. Fat girls and hot flashes don't work. so thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you here. You two are not just Santa and Mrs. Claus. You are the amazing duo that has shared your love for so many, many years with children all over the nation, really. People have come from everywhere to see your parade, to see you, to talk to you, to visit, and to share their memories of Christmas. And y'all have just done so many amazing things. And I know you have an award. Is it the St. Nicholas what?
Well, there's a couple of awards. Pam and I were knighted into the Knights of St. Nicholas back in 2014 in New York. The interesting thing about the Knights of St. Nicholas, it's an elite group of Santa Clauses that they consider to live by the traditions and what people expect Santa and Mrs. Claus to be. But the interesting thing is when they notified me about this honor, I asked, well, what happens? What do they do? And they said, well, it's like a knighting ceremony. We have a sword that's been blessed by the church, and we go through the process of knighting you like you see the Queen does, And I said, okay, that's interesting. And then you take part of the manna. And I was a little concerned about, well, what is the manna? And this is the interesting thing about it. The gentleman explained to me that the manna is gathered on May the 6th. Actually, the Catholic Church goes into the tomb of St. Nicholas.
Wow.
And his bones produce an oil.
You're kidding.
And they gather that oil from the bones of St. Nicholas.
Oh, my gosh.
And every May 6th, I believe it is. And he says, that's the manna. Well, my concern was, am I going to have to drink this?
Yeah.
And they explained,
You were thinking, yeah.
and they informed me, says, no, we don't do that. We put the manna in a bowl and we make a cross with it on your forehead. So
That I could do.
and he said, which I thought was really nice. He said, and what happens is you absorb something within your body from the original St. Nicholas.
Oh my God!
And
How awesome is that?
So that was sort of an awesome tradition. And then in that same year, I was fortunate to be inducted into the Santa Claus, the International Santa Claus Hall of Fame, which at the time that I was inducted, there were only 41 in the world that had that honor. And the class of Santas that are in that organization is unbelievable. People like Ed Gwynn, who was the Santa Claus in the original Miracle on 34th
Yes, he
Street.
was. I saw that the other night.
Hayden Sundblom, who was the artist for the Coca-Cola Santa Claus, actually went in the same year that I went in.
Now, where is that located?
It is located in all places, a little town called Santa Claus, Indiana.
Wow.
I have been to Santa Claus, Indiana. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And it's in Santa
Yes,
Claus's
I have.
Candy Castle, there in Santa Claus, Indiana. And that was quite an honor. And I think one of the things that touched me the most was after the induction ceremony, I had this lady that came up to me and she said, my sister is extremely mad at you. And I said, she is? And she said, yes. I thought, well, here with one of the greatest honors I've ever had in my life, and this lady comes up and tells me that her sister is upset with me. And she said, well, the reason is that she saw the photographs of the Santas that were being inducted, and she saw your picture, and she said, that's the one that I want to be my daughter's Santa Claus. And so she found out that I was from Georgia and that she was from Michigan, and that wouldn't happen. So she was upset.
Oh, wow.
Well, the next day we saw her and we had a little discussion, talked with her, and she wanted her picture with Mrs. Claus and I and her and her daughter, and we did that. And so when we finished, I asked her, I said, well, why are you here? Do you have some connection with Santa Claus? And she said, well, my great-grandfather was a Santa Claus. And I said, really?
Oh, cool.
And I said, well, what's his name? And she explained to me, says, well, his name was Charles Howard. Have you ever heard of him? And I looked at her and I said, well, yes, I've heard of him. Well, Charles Howard was probably the first Santa Claus that I ever saw as a child.
Oh, my goodness.
Any of us ever
Really?
saw. You'll know.
Well, and the
It is a
reason,
small world.
At
It is a
Rich's?
small-
At Rich's?
no,
Atlanta?
no, he was the Santa for 20 years from I think it was 1948 to 1965 for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day
Okay.
Parade.
So we all
Okay.
saw
We
him.
all
So,
saw
so
him.
he was probably the first
Yeah.
one that I saw, and so
Yeah.
I thought that was quite an honor. And we have both, in the meantime, been close friends with the family of Mr. Howard, and that was quite an honor for us. So-
I was afraid you were going to say that the sister was unhappy because she didn't get a chatty Cathy when she was.
I didn't get a dollhouse.
You know, speaking of getting, I have a little gift for you. And we were talking about Santa and Coca-Cola. And Santa, I'm going to open it because I kind of had to put it in there. This is a Coca-Cola treasure. And this is a, let me show you.
Oh, look.
It
I
is a
love
pop-up
that.
book, and I know that y'all collect Coca-Cola.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a
Great.
special edition pop-up book, and this is for you and Mrs. Claus.
That's lovely.
And later, when Jen and I step off the set, we're going to let you read to our children because so many kids had the flu this week and strep throat and a stomach bug going around. We decided that the best thing to do to have you here is for you to address all children.
Absolutely.
So how else could you do it? On television.
That's
and
right.
then when we
Absolutely.
get off the show, it will be then put on YouTube. So all children will get to see you read a book that you brought and to read this book. And this says, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Well, I'm sorry these children are not feeling well. That's the sad
Well,
thing.
I'm so glad that I had the wisdom to say, strep, out of here. Stomach
Thank
bug, out of here.
We were on the phone back and
Flu,
forth
outta
going,
here.
no, they're sick.
Said they're
and
sick.
some of them were really upset because they were missing Christmas parties at school today.
Yeah.
And
But some schools have closed because we have such a flu epidemic
Really?
in Georgia. So I just felt it was safe to keep you happy because
Right.
we want you to be well on December 24th.
It's important.
And if you picked up one of these bugs and you couldn't travel the 24th, we are up the creek.
That
We
would
are
be-
up the
that would
creek.
be terrible.
Now, Santa, speaking of up the creek, I would like to ask you for a special gift. A set of scales that lies.
2 sets of scales that lie.
Mrs. Claus would like one of those too.
And it wouldn't hurt if it would say, "My goodness, good morning, beautiful."
That's
that
right.
would also be very
That's
nice.
right.
Santa has one at the North Pole that he steps on, and it says, "1 person at a time, please."
Now, you have been such a great part of giving back and Toys for Children and the parade and ball ground. We will just put it up there as the absolute best in Georgia. I mean, it is absolutely the best. This year it was 1 hour and 8 minutes long, and it was pure joy and delight for so many people. And thank goodness the weather held off because it drizzled a little bit, but nothing bad. It was fantastic. Tell me what it takes to pull that off.
Well, I actually start working on it in February of every year. I take a little break during December and January, but I've been really blessed with the reception from people that are what we call our regulars. We have several cosplayers or people who like to dress as their favorite superheroes or princesses that come. And they come all the way from Kingsport, Tennessee, and they love it, and they come every year. And everybody loves it because it has that small town atmosphere from Christmases past, and it's just tremendous. We have several thousand people that come and attend the parade, and I think when we first started it, we would always go into Ball Ground every year to visit with the children, and one particular year, which was 3 years before we started the March of the Toys Parade for Toys for Tots, 3 years prior to that, we had a little girl that came up to me who was 4. Her name was Bo Bellinger, and she was from Forsyth County, and she sat on Santa's lap. And I asked her, I said, Bo, what would you like for Christmas? And she looked at me and she said, Santa, I'd like for you to bring my daddy home. Oh, no. Well, it just broke my heart, you know, and I asked her, I said, well, where is your daddy? And we found out that he was a soldier in Afghanistan, and I explained to Bo that, well, he had a very important job and that he wanted to be home with her for Christmas, and it's a good thing that he's doing, and I know he's sad just like you are. And, well, the interesting thing was we concluded by talking about what toys she wanted, and she left my lap. And when she left my lap, Mrs. Claus had been talking to her mother, and she whispered in my ear, she said, Santa, her daddy is coming home. She just doesn't know it.
Wow.
And I went,
wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So I turned to the mother and I said, when he comes home, I want to make the delivery.
Yeah.
So let me know.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
This was, if this was not a God wink, I don't know what is, but the week before Christmas, I looked at my calendar. I was booked every day except for one day, and it was Thursday.
No.
Well, on Wednesday night, her mother calls me and said, he's coming home tomorrow. Wow. So we made arrangements.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh, it gets worse.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Where's your tissue, girls?
Yeah, my tears are, my tissues, I got you.
Well,
you're gonna need it.
Oh, and I'm going to give you a link to see the actual episode. But what happened was that when we got to the home, I talked with her dad, and Bo was in school at that time. So we made preparations to make this a really big surprise. I had called 2 Atlanta television stations that came and to videotape it. And so when Bo comes home from school, she walks in, she sees the TV camera, she sees Santa and Mrs. Claus, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I bring her to me, and I said, Bo, I said, you've made a special wish, and I have here with me a wishing star. We had this little star ornament, and to this day, I don't know where it came from.
Wow.
I found it.
She found it.
I put Bo and her dad, it was a picture of them together, and I put it inside the star.
And so I gave it to her, and I said, make that wish that you wish for in Ball Ground. So she held it in her hands, and she said, Santa, I want my daddy home for Christmas. And I said, well, say it again, and this time really mean it. And she said, Santa, I want my daddy home for Christmas. Well, at that time, the doorbell rings, the door opens, her dad is standing there in his fatigues. She runs to him and jumps in his arms, and, you know, those tears and everything.
Okay.
Wow.
And, well,
it was a moment, girls.
The interesting thing was, after it was over with, Mrs. Claus and I, the next day, were heading to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to be Santa and Mrs. Claus at the Tennessee Valley Railroad. when we got a call from Bo's grandfather, he said, Santa, I just thought you needed to know that the story went national and CNN is running it, and it's called The Story of the Day.
Oh, wow.
My gracious.
So good news, good news.
Okay, I've got goosebumps all over.
Never forget. But you can go onto YouTube, and you can go to Santa Brings Soldier Home, enter Santa Brings Soldier Home in the search bar, and I think it's the very top one that comes up. So click on that, and you can actually see the video.
If it touches you now, then when you see it, it's really going to touch you.
I cried.
Because I've still got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Santa cried in the video myself when they were interviewing me about it, because it touched me so much, and it was such a wonderful experience.
But when you can do something like that for a child, the look in that child's eyes just had to warm you so completely that.
Oh, and I tell you, I was so concerned after I told her that I was going to bring him home. I was going, please, God, please don't let anything happen to him between now.
Clean be late, don't let.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you this, too. I saw a photo of you at the Grady Burn Center.
Yes, yes.
I've been to Grady. Actually, Angela was born at Grady Hospital 50 years ago.
Wow.
And a lot of people there don't leave there in good condition, but you were visiting burn unit patients. That is so tough. That is so tough.
It is tough, and you know, in order to be what I consider to be a complete Santa Claus, you have to not only visit with the children who are healthy, but those who are in the hospitals. We've actually have had to make a couple of visits of children who were near death, and
I think they need you more than the other children.
And the thing about it, you want to do everything you can to bring them joy, even during those most difficult times in their life. And
just for a moment, if they can have that moment.
I remember one of the first times that I visited a hospital, and I was actually being Santa Claus at a local McDonald's, and this lady came to me and she said, Santa, where are you going after this? And I said, well, I'm heading back to the North Pole. And she laughed. She says, well, I got a request. Would you visit this little girl who's in the hospital? And I tried to come up with every excuse that I could possibly come up with. And I finally said, where is she at? Where is she located? And she was at that time, Pickens General Hospital. And I said, okay, I'll do it, and I'll go by there on my way home. And I was dreading it so much. And I went into the room, and she was supposed to be at the event that night, and she was so disappointed. So when I went in the room, she just lightened up, and she said, oh, Santa, I'm so glad to see you. And I sat down, I talked with her, and we shared our Christmas wishes, and I gave her some toys and things. And when I got back to my vehicle, I broke down and I sobbed and I cried, and I said, God, she was a much bigger blessing to me than I ever was to her. And so she just made my Christmas complete that year. And so
I wish you would. Have you thought of writing a book of your lives together doing this?
Actually, I have written a book. It's called Recollections of My Life as Santa Claus.
We should have brought you both.
Yeah, I should have brought you a copy of it. I wrote it in 2017, and it has a collection of my stories portraying Santa. Most of the stories I've told you were in the book. And it's on Amazon. If you want to go to Amazon.com.
That is a great gift. That is a great gift.
Wonderful.
Just do a search for Recollections of My Life as Santa Claus. And it was written by a gentleman named Tim Cavender who wrote that.
Yeah?
And,
well, I know he's a good friend of yours.
He knows a lot
about that. He has a brother who's an English teacher, so he may have had a little help with that.
Help with that.
Yeah.
Proofread the book for me, so yeah, he was very instrumental. But there's a lot of interesting photos and some wonderful stories of my life. And I've been truly blessed. I thank God. And I think sometimes those that I think who have the spirit of Christmas within them to portray Santa are truly called by God to do it.
Well, I've got a story to tell you, and it was about 3 years ago, and we had some children here on the set. Somebody I'd started talking to at a fast food restaurant. I don't even remember. No, we were at one of the barbecue restaurants, and we started talking about it, and his wife brought the kids onto the set, and I had a CD made for them, and I picked it up and I took it to them. And the mother thanked me because she had been arguing with the two little girls that Santa did exist, because the girls had been told at school that Santa
Oh, dear.
was just an imagination. Santa's not going to bring you anything, don't worry. And she said those little girls would go back to school now and we're telling everybody, you're wrong, Santa does exist. I've got a picture with Santa. I know Santa. But she was so thankful that those two little girls' dream had not been totally
Crushed.
destroyed because you had spent a few, and she was talking about you had even read them a book, and she said, I told all my friends that you even read us a book, so for them to just go home and
Suck
look
it up.
for you,
Suck it up, Buttercup.
that Santa did exist, and they
Santa
better,
likes
and they
things like
better
that.
put cookies out for you Christmas
That's
Eve.
right.
And
That's
that does.
I just looked at the clock, and we have some personal messages that
Okay.
you want to deliver for children. And you have a
I
personal
have a gift
Yes,
for
I
you,
want to
Miss
see
Cherie.
this. I want to see
It's
this.
plaid, so you'll.
It's plaid. I do love plaid.
It just reminded me of you.
Oh, and you know, I still have a towel you gave me. How sweet is that? The best things in life are the people we love, the places that we've been, and the memories we've made along the way.
That's right.
beautiful.
And that is so much about life. Thank you so much. I love that. How precious.
And a little candle.
How precious. I love it. Thank you so much.
Well, we're
and
so
hanging
welcome.
in my kitchen is my ball ground towel you brought me several years
Yay.
ago. Now, y'all, we're going to take a commercial break purely so we can slide out of the way, and we're going to bring Santa and Mrs. in front of the fireplace. Riker's going to visit with them a couple of minutes, and then Santa's going to address all the children in our viewing audience. So many of them couldn't be with us today because of the bug going around, and we just want them to be a part of today. So we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back shortly.
See you soon.
So cool to have all these amazing memories. When you look at Jen, you look at me, you look at Santa, you look at Mrs. Claus. 3 out of 4 of us had cancer. And if I remember right, Mrs. Claus also battled and beat cancer. So I'm waiting on a message back from her. But when you think about that, if you're sitting around your kitchen table today and this one had cancer, this one had cancer, this one had cancer, survival rate is better than it has been, but the luck of the draw. And I remember those words like it was yesterday when the doctor told my husband, it is the luck of the draw. It is so hard as the holidays approach, as you're seeing those people coming in the chemo labs, as you're seeing those people getting those prescriptions for chemo at night, as you're seeing those people who have lost 60 to 80 pounds because cancer is eating them up, and you just know that they are fighting for their lives. As you say your prayers today, pray for every single person battling cancer. We saw it take Jen, vibrant, crazy, wild, opinionated, nutty woman that we just loved, and it took her. And the chemo did most of the damage, and that's so hard because you have to fight the cancer, so you have to do the chemo, but then the chemo, my Aunt Betty had 1 chemo treatment and passed away. My sister had, I think, 7 chemo treatments and passed away. It is crazy. My sister was, nobody had any idea that she was going to battle cancer because it hadn't run in our family. She had kidney cancer. And my brother-in-law was telling me Saturday when they delivered her first chemo treatments to her, and she called the insurance company and said, are you sure you're going to pay for this? It was $17,000 for the first 30 days of chemo. That's a lot of money spent. And she was worried and she was concerned. Sadly, the chemo took her down and caused her to have a stroke. So, we fight cancer, we pray to beat cancer. There's somebody out there who can beat this cancer. We just don't know when it's going to happen. So if you're facing that cancer, if you're facing that, you hate to hear that diagnosis, yeah, it's cancer again, but the key is to keep fighting and to keep fighting and to keep fighting. And for those who don't know, Santa fought cancer this year, and he is doing amazingly well. He will be in the parade as always. He will be on his sleigh, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful night in Ball Ground. So right now, we're going to go to a little bit of music. We're going to go to, let's get in the Christmas spirit. The temperature says we should be in the Christmas spirit. It's not winter yet, but the temperature is telling me it might feel like it is. So here we go.
York City. There's snow on the ground, and out in Pumpkin Center, Tell's Creek is Carter's bound, and maybe down in Memphis, Graceland's all in lights, and on beautiful Fort Mountain, there's peace on earth tonight. Christmas in Dixie, it's snowing in the pines. Merry Christmas from Dixie to everyone tonight. Chicago, and the kids are out of school. There's magic in Motown, the city's on the move. In Jackson, Mississippi, to Charlotte, Carolina, and all across the nation, it's a peaceful Christmas time. Christmas in Dixie, it's snowing in the pines. Merry Christmas from Dixie to everyone tonight. And from up on old Fort Mountain, Merry Christmas tonight.
Somebody get me a match and let's light the fireplace. If not, I'm going to have to start smoking. It's cold today. It is so cold today. Okay, we're going to go back a few years, and we want to share just what happens to a little child when they're born. We're going to show you some photos of baby Xana last year on her Christmas, her first Christmas, and you're going to go, wow, she was so little. Now, that's actually a fireplace that we just redid. It was dark and it was gloomy and it was doomy, and I took some of Angela's things and some stuff that I have had and we redid it. And I will tell you, in the near future, I'm going to be redoing this set because I want to modernize it just a little bit, and I'm going to take it back to the old days and the old ways, even though it's going to be modern, techno, weird. You're going to be going, what are you doing with it now? But I just want to change it up a little bit. So by the first of the year, you're going to see a few changes. There's my bestie, and I have to say, all the doctor's visits, the surgeries, the trips, thank you, thank you, thank you for being there, for supporting me, for caring about me, and for saying, no, doctor, that's not, we don't want to hear that. So, and here's baby Xana now. Now, you'll get to see her in her Christmas outfit before long because her mama, as always, never buys her one Christmas outfit, never buys her one Halloween outfit, never buys her one Thanksgiving outfit, buys several. So that's how big she is today. And now you're going to see some photos in a minute that show how little she was last year. Don't give up praying for those you love. God will work on them in His own unique way. Amen. So if you have got things going on in your family that you can't resolve, things that are going on that are worrying you, just know that He will resolve it. Now, this is Santa. I believe this is this year. this year. So you see Santa is well. He is doing photo shots with the kids, and you saw him in a program that he did a few years here, and there's a little bit of difference in the way he looks. He's like all of us. We've all aged a little bit, just a little bit. But it is one of those things. You are watching that Santa. Now, this is my family as they brought my sister's ashes up to distribute and to put in the grave with my grandmother's ashes, and to spread some of them in the beautiful mountains, because my sister loved the mountains. And when you see the lady sitting there in the turquoise shirt, it looks so much like my sister, but that is her only child, and that is Melanie and her children and my precious brother-in-law and my twin brothers, Fred and Steve. So it is us getting together after planting my sister's ashes. Now, this is baby Xana last Christmas. Boy, has she changed. That is the most independent little girl, and she runs around. She's into everything. She is so sweet. She is so sassy. She loves English peas, y'all. My favorite thing to have for Thanksgiving is LeSueur English peas with cream potatoes and dressing and that cranberry stuff that I love, and baby Xana loved all of it. So I was so excited. That's proof that she's my grandbaby. So there you go. But that is last year. It just flies by, y'all. It's so crazy how the holidays were here, and then they're gone, and then they're here again, and you're just like, time just goes so fast, so fast. And there she is. She was a tiny baby last year, and now she is a sassy little girl. She loves animals. She loves fruit. She loves vegetables. She is so, so sweet and just the most loving. And when she sees me, she holds her hands out and she smiles, and she's so precious. Now, this is something I want you to listen to. Every family needs a memory tree. Sadly, every family has memories of those that aren't with us this Christmas, those that we will be missing every single day, and those that we loved so much that we never thought would leave here so soon. Remember, as the holidays approach, it is about the birth of Jesus. Is it about those we love? It's about those that we can help today, and it's about those that we are missing so much. As I look at this memory tree, it's very hard to believe that my daughter's been gone 11 years, but in 11 years, I haven't been able to put her memento on the memory tree. This is the first year, and I'm very thankful for the strength to do that. So to everybody, everywhere, who's missing someone, who's just remembering those loved ones, know that you are not alone, and that we can make it through this holiday season if we will just do for others, be good, be kind, and make a difference in this old world. We all have it in us, and we all can do it. Merry, Merry Christmas to everybody, from my beautiful Christmas angel, my grandmother, my mother, my husband, my Aunt Betty, so many people, those happy moments, those happy memories. We just have to take those to our heart, keep them in our soul, and remember that Jesus came, Jesus lived, and Jesus will return. He will return. Enjoy every single moment with your holidays, and know that Jesus truly is the reason for the season.
In training, yes.
You want to sit down? You want to sit down just a minute with Santa?
Well, maybe not.
You can stand up here and talk to Santa.
Stand up and talk to Santa, right?
What are you going to tell Santa you want for Christmas? Huh?
Let me see if he'll come to me.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, darling.
Yeah, Mrs. Claus is
Mrs. Claus.
a lot better looking than Santa is.
Riker
John.
Riker.
Okay, if we had the rocking music going, Riker would be dancing.
Is he a dancer?
Yvonne, hit that Santa Claus that's on the desk, and he will dance. Okay.
You are looking at the essence of Cherie's heart right here.
Come here, right here.
Come here,
let me see it.
Riker.
I'll show you. You just got to pop him on the bottom. Riker. Uh-oh. How about
Is he burned out?
Yvonne? How about the one?
Where's the other dancing Santa?
And to all
Why
the
is
good
he not
nights.
doing his thing? He's not doing his. Okay, how about the other Santa that's sitting over there by Tim? Yeah, there you go. Look now, Riker, you come and give Santa a gift. Come and give Santa a
I
gift.
have one for you too.
Look, hand it here and I'll make it play music. You want to do that? Okay,
Let's see if we can do that.
Mrs. Ho Ho, look at this.
Oh, yay.
Riker, look. Look at that.
This is a place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Yay!
Can you dance? Can you dance?
Say, I can. My Gigi Bear taught me to dance. Say, my Gigi
No,
Bear
let it
taught
snow,
me to
let it. There it goes.
Jingle bell,
Jingle bell rock.
Dance.
jingle bell
Dance,
rock,
buddy.
jingle bell rock. Oh, where you going? Say, okay, Santa.
All
He's gone
right.
after that football.
Riker, you want your candy? You want candy from Santa?
I think he's ready for his morning nap.
He's escaping.
I think there might be chocolate up here, Riker.
Santa and Mrs. Claus, we're going to turn the program over to you, and we're going to step away. Are you going to get your candy from Santa?
Riker.
Hey, Riker,
look,
Riker,
Santa's
Riker,
got
Riker,
candy.
there he goes.
He's putting on a show.
If you
isn't he?
said
He
chocolate,
travels around the world faster than Santa does.
look, Santa's got your candy. Look.
It's a game.
Okay, we're gonna leave you, y'all. We're gonna step
Okay,
away, and this
okay.
is the rest of the program is yours. And Merry Christmas.
Well,
Here you go.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you
Merry
so much.
Christmas, everybody.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. That feisty little boy had things on his mind that did not mean he was going to stand still and visit with Santa. He could care less. He was so fun. And think about it, guys. He's 5 years old now. It is crazy. It is crazy how fast they grow. It is crazy how much you see the changes every single day and what an impact you can make on their lives. If you have an opportunity over the Christmas holidays, spend time with your grandchildren in the kitchen. Those are some of the most fun memories of my life, is my grandmother trying to teach me to cook and getting aggravated with me because I just didn't quite get it and I had to catch on, and she would be very impatient. And I was like, Granny, don't be so mean and so rough on me. So get in the kitchen with the grandkids. Choose some recipes they like. Choose some things that you know they're crazy about. If you know they love M&M peanut butter cups, and make a recipe using those. If you know they love Oreos, make a recipe using those. Or if they're like Xana and they love cranberries, you can make that cranberry cake that I was telling y'all about. Again, don't forget this week in the Pickens Progress, the recipe for Golda B. Davis's cranberry salad will be in there. And honestly, y'all, it is addictive. I eat a little bit of it every single day. I really feel like it's healthy and good for you because it has the cranberries in them and they have a lot of antioxidants in it. And it does have a little bit of sugar, but it's so good. I have not done it with, what do you call that stuff I do? The non-sugar sugar. I have not tried it with non-sugar sugar, but I think that it says you can use equal amounts. So I might try it one day with that and we'll see how it goes. But it's so yummy, it's so good. It's a great something if you want to give gifts to your neighbors and you're thinking, I don't want to go out and buy something. I made some peach cobblers and delivered them. I made some blackberry cobblers and delivered them. I do that kind of thing. I cook a little bit and take to my friends and neighbors rather than going out and shopping. You could make this cranberry salad and put it in a cute little serving dish and give it as a gift. So it's really yummy, really yummy. And I hate to say I'm down to just a little corner of it left in the dish, which means after I have it tonight, I will have to make more or I will have to give it up until the next time I make a batch. So really yummy stuff. We're going to leave you now with another song from Christmas. We think about the holidays. We think about those that are gone. I want to make a suggestion to each and every one of you. Every household that we serve is missing or loving or losing someone. Start yourself a memory tree. I'm so thankful that my daughter did that memory tree. It gives me almost a calming effect when I put that tree up. I get to remember all those people that are gone. I get to remember all the special moments in my life with them. And I get to laugh a little. I get to cry a little. But I remember, and I think that's so very, very important, because when they're gone, all we have are their memories. And it's just like watching the set with me and Santa and Jen. All three have battled cancer. 2 are still here. 1, sadly, but happily for her, went to be with Jesus. We know that cancer is among us, and we know that we're going to fight it someday. And I remember when I first started asking people, if you lost somebody with cancer, please send me their name, and we're going to do a little remembrance of them. When we got to over 200 names, I was blown away. When we got to 300 names, I was like, wow, oh my gosh. It was crazy how cancer has affected so many of us. So as the holidays approach, you will see people who are going to chemo clinics. You will see people who are struggling with losing their hair. You will see people who are dealing with all kinds of things, from the weight loss to the nausea to the fatigue. But hopefully, out of those, you will see in the spring that they have battled and beaten cancer. Wouldn't that be awesome? So let's say a prayer for that. We're going to go now to one more song, and then we're going to leave you where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet at ETC.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I'll have another blue Christmas.
You know, I had to come back and remind you of something. I just got a message from Mrs. Claus. When you look at the set, me, Jen, Santa, and Mrs. Claus, she just confirmed all 4 of us have had cancer. All 4 of us. Only one of us is missing. And so this holiday, know that you can beat, you can battle, you can fight, and you can get through this battle that we're facing with cancer. So please stay positive, stay pumped up, stay on top of this, and early detection is the most important thing. Get yourself a checkup. I am going to leave you now where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. See y'all later.